welcome to episode 119 of Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com and, of course, our YouTube page and everywhere else on the internet. Thank you all for watching last week's news show. Thank you to the almost 14,000 of you. We're getting close to 14,000. Of course, that's our goal for SummerSlam. 14,000 subscribers. We're about halfway there, so keep going. Between 13 and 14, I mean. We are, as always, the most watched wrestling discussion show on YouTube, and I'm very proud of that statement, and I don't shy away from that. That's awesome. Today is the beginning of a new era, I guess you can say, on Talk Wrestling as we start episode 119. We are going to the moderator board here on YouTube, powered by Google, of course, it says right there. I'll give Google a plug. What the hell? Today, we're going to take your most popular questions as voted by you. This is viewer's choice. You don't talk about WWE doing a viewer's choice thing last week? That's not what it was. This is a true viewer's choice show. And I'm going to go to your questions right now. This is what this is. Viewer's choice. Let's take a look. This one is from James, 1993K. Who are the worst wrestling gimmicks in the company, either TNA, WWE, or Ring of Honor, in this present and past decade? Okay. Oh, God. There's a lot. WWE-wise, Jesse and Festus was really stupid. Kung Fu Naki was bad. I tend to block out the bad gimmicks just to try to focus on the positive. I'm trying to stay positive lately. You know, I'm trying to do that. In TNA... everything's been bad, unfortunately. Black Machismo was good in its infancy, but it got played out very quickly. Suicide, horrible gimmick. Ring of Honor, I don't watch Ring of Honor. I wish I did. I wish I had access to it. I know you guys are telling me it's on YouTube and everything, but I just don't have the time to sit there and watch an hour episode of wrestling. You know, I should. It's my job to watch wrestling and everything to do the show, but Ring of Honor. I don't see a whole lot bad with Ring of Honor. They have. Some of their stuff is pretty gimmicky, but that's with all wrestling. You gotta have some gimmicks. But WWE, Kung Fu Naki, and Jesse Festus were pretty bad in recent memory. TNA, Suicide, and Black Machismo near the end they're both pretty stupid. This is from TX Bill 1980. Hi Jeff, love the show. I was wondering if Hulk Hogan died all of a sudden, do you think the WWE would have a special Raw like it did for Owen and Eddie, or would they just kind of mention it during Raw in between commercial breaks? Well, I think that even though Hulk is now working for the competition, if you want to call it competition, TNA, I think that his death would definitely have an impact on the WWE and wrestling in general, even though he's not at his peak anymore. He's still Hulk Hogan. He's still the biggest star in the history of the business. And for him to pass away would definitely warrant a special tribute show from WWE and from TNA. But WWE would definitely, I believe, this is just my opinion, it's my show, it's my opinion, I believe that they would definitely say something and definitely do a tribute show to the Hulkster, because he deserves it, there's no question about that. This is from Sammy the Man 1. Do you think if WWE went back to 14+, that John Cena would be heel again? Another John Cena turning heel question, Aaron. Every week it seems like I get this. Every week. I think John Cena turning heel will happen as a last resort if they think that nothing else will carry interest in the product. But he is, as I said earlier in the show, he is the face of the company. Okay? And I don't think they want the face of the company to be a heel. They want him to appeal to the kids. They want him to appeal to the masses. And I know a lot of people hate John Cena. A lot of people dislike his stagnant gimmick, okay? I'm up there with y'all. I'm not a big fan of the gimmick, okay? But, it is what it is. It is what it is. And he's not going to change. This is from LibertyCap666. Trying to tell me something there, Mr. Devilman? Do you think wrestling will be as ever exciting as it once was? WWE nowadays is so watered down and boring, it's almost hard to watch. I'll admit the NXT invasion last week was great, but that sort of thing used to happen all the time. This is very true. I talked about NXT a lot last week and the whole invasion storyline. And we're seeing how it's playing out now. I think that is generating some sort of talk right now regarding the business. But, that's only one angle. You can't... With one angle, the business cannot be saved. And that's just the way it is. And, a lot of people talk about the business being cyclical, if that's a word. It goes in cycles, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. And there's no question we're in a down period right now. But you got to remember, the whole country's in a down period right now. This is the worst depression, the worst recession since the Great Depression of the 1920s and 30s. People aren't going out and spending, hundreds of bucks on wrestling tickets anymore unless they're super wealthy and they can afford it. People aren't, WrestleManias aren't selling out. SummerSlams aren't selling out. The TV tapings aren't selling out. And the house shows aren't selling out. That's an unfortunate, way of life right now. And that's with all things. The Kings, when I went to the hockey games this last season, when the Kings were cooking, they were selling out their games. But I think that, mainstream sports fans are more loyal to their teams, in my opinion, than wrestling fans are to their product. That's just the way I see it, because, the other sports are still selling out, but wrestling definitely is not. Wrestling is in a down cycle right now. Will this angle turn around NXT? Perhaps. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. They have to, they have to keep going. They have to keep pumping new ideas and new information into the system, so to speak, into the computer, and just kind of generate interest. NXT was a great example of generated interest, but as I said, one angle a company does not save. This one is from RKO Styles 23. How much do you think Shawn Michaels' career would have been if he didn't get hurt in 1998? Do you think DX would have stayed together longer? Do you think he would have had an extra title reign in the 2000s? I get a lot of these questions like this, and I kind of go, do I really need to know that information? Only because, hindsight is 20/20. If Michaels hadn't hurt his back, Michaels was going so fast, so hard, balls to the wall his entire life in his career, that something would have caught up with him eventually. Something would have brought him down, and he would have been hurt eventually. It was a foregone conclusion that, he was running too hard. And, he was not happy. He wasn't in a good place then. And just, so would he have stayed around longer? Probably. Would he have had an extra title reign in the 2000s? Very likely. But, his position was he was going to put over Steve Austin. Steve Austin became the face of the company at the time. And it's very hard to, think, in my opinion, that Shawn Michaels would have been a WWE champion again. WWE champion back then. I don't think it would have happened. So, would he have got a title reign? Maybe, maybe not. Would he have stayed around longer? Probably. This is from Smoggy91. See, these YouTube names are great. I love these things. If you could book The Undertaker's final rivalry before he retired, who would it be against and what would you do? Well, the only person I would think that he could face, that he hasn't faced in a long time, and when he did face this person was just at the start of his rise, his meteoric rise to the top. And it was a great feud at the time, but at the time, The Undertaker was still in the biker gimmick, and the other person, as I said, was just on the cusp of greatness, if you will. And that person is John Cena. Undertaker has gone through everybody since his return to the Dead Man gimmick in 2004. It's been 6 years, almost 6.5 now. I think the time is right for an Undertaker-John Cena rivalry. So when The Undertaker does return from this injury, I would like to see The Undertaker go out on top with a rivalry against Cena. That's just what I would like to see. I think that would be great for business. I think the fans would want to see The Undertaker destroy Cena. I think the fans would want to, shall we say, have that feud with Cena and see exactly where it goes. This is from Chaz K. Do you think it's the writer's fault that so many great athletes end up mid-card fodder or worse in WWE? Or is there some inherent flaw in management that they can only focus on one or two big names at a time and constantly put down any threats? I'm not sure that's the case. Yes, they generally tend to focus on certain people at certain times, but again, I've said this twice already on the show now. John Cena is the face of the company. They have to focus on him and build a storyline around him. So I think they tend to focus on certain people at certain times. There's no question about that, as I said. But, everyone gets a little bit of a shot eventually. Most guys get a little TV time. Most people get a little, FaceTime and go, hi, I'm still here. I still work here. And it tends to, get a little convoluted. There's no question about that. There's a lot of people that just, end up getting squashed, like Santino, like Funaki did, like Jimmy Wang Yang did when he was still there. A lot of guys just end up being, as you said, cannon fodder. But that's just the nature of the business. It's always been that way. A lot of guys get the push, a lot of guys don't. This is from Mercury Summer 10. Hi, Jeff. My question to you is, do you think that the badass Randy Orton gimmick is having a large effect on the way the WWE's product is being put across? Do you think if they progress with this storyline, Randy Orton will become the face of WWE? Okay. I've said this many times on the show, and I'll say it again because it needs to be said. For the foreseeable future, John Cena is the face of WWE. Randy Orton is there. Triple H will be back if he does come back from after his third child is born. You've got Sheamus, you've got Edge, you've got The Undertaker when he comes back, you've got Big Show, you've got Jack Swagger. There are all these guys that are, in the main event circle. Okay? But for now, John Cena is the face of WWE. I don't think anybody in the current crop of superstars will supersede John Cena's position as the face of WWE. Down the line, a few years, we may see a new face. But for right now, John Cena is the guy. This is from Ewall. Who do you think will pass Ric Flair's record of world titles first, Cena or Triple H? Triple H is at 13? And Cena's at 10? I gotta believe Hunter's on the downside of his career. I gotta believe Hunter is gonna be, the guy to put other guys over like he did with Sheamus. So I don't see him winning any more world titles. That's just the way I look at things. Cena, I don't think he has enough time with him to win 6 more world titles unless they horribly book the championship more than they already have. Edge might be the guy to do it. He's got 9 or 10, whatever he's got now. Orton's got a few, more than a few. Of the two that you mentioned, though, Ewall, I probably would go with John Cena. This is from Emperor Luna, Your Majesty. With Danielson, Low-Key, and even Evan Bourne making their way into the spotlight, do you think the WWE is trying to focus more on wrestling rather than the all-talk soap opera crap they've been feeding us? Love the show, Jeff. Stay sweet, you big dirty man. Okay. I gotta admit, a chill went up my spine just now. Just throwing that out there. You're a scary man, Luna, if you are a man. Might be a girl. Never know. Luna is a girl's name. But Luna Vachon. Right? I think you need to look no further than, I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago's Raw, I believe it was. I know it wasn't the 3-hour Raw last week because they had more matches on that Raw. But 2 weeks ago on Raw, 4 matches in 2 hours. They're not focusing on wrestling any more than they have recently. If they want to focus on wrestling, cut out half the backstage stuff and go to the ring. I understand that people are tuning in to see the soap opera, a lot of times, but the hardcore, old school fans like me and the guys that grew up watching the Attitude Era, yes, there was a lot of talk during the Attitude Era, and I know people are sick of me saying Attitude Era, and I miss the Attitude Era, and a lot of people are sick of people saying the Attitude Era is long gone. It's so sad. But the Attitude Era combined a lot of talk with great action in the ring. And there was more than 4 matches in a 2-hour Raw. Yes, the matches may have been short, but we got more in-ring action. So, if they want to focus more on wrestling, they have to focus on the in-ring competition, so to speak. Thank you all for watching this week on Talk Wrestling. Again, send in your questions to the moderator board. Send them into Yahoo, of course, and to MySpace. We'll get to those questions as well, but I just wanted to try out the moderator board and see how it worked out. This Sunday, live on pay-per-view, is the Fatal 4-Way from WWE. You can check out live coverage on NoDQ.com, as always with the pay-per-views. Those of you that tuned in to Slammiversary's coverage last week, thank you for joining us on NoDQ.com. And you can check out Fatal 4-Way. There's the title matches and so much more. Next week, more of the questions, and we'll see you next time.